What's going on, guys? I am Augustine Versace. This is Onell Media, and you are awesome. Please like, subscribe, and ring a bell notification so you can be notified every time I do another video. Now, today, I want to talk to you guys about being in a situation where you don't know where you're going to be shooting or what things are going to be like when you're shooting. I actually had a photo shoot yesterday. And what happened was we ended up in a space that I was unfamiliar with. And with that being said, I ended up with a white wall and a red wall. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the problem? Well, the problem is with me having that red wall, everything that I did had a red cast to it from that side. I had a 3-light setup, and one light was just bouncing off of that wall, and there was really not a lot I could do. But I'm going to show you some things that you could do in post when you can't control the situation, and just being knowledgeable of colors in the situation that you're in. So firstly, we're going to go into Lightroom. Okay, I think I might like this one. Yeah, so we'll use this one. Let me reset it. Building your own presets is really important. So I have presets that I use over here that I use for everything. You know my presets. Yeah. But the preset that I'm going to be using is a variation of my Valentine's preset. And what you can do is, if you have a preset that you're using, you could go ahead, take that preset, use it, and then make adjustments. When you find the adjustment that you want, then you could save that adjustment as another preset, which is what I did, because if you look at the picture here, there are still a lot of reds and magentas going on over here, which I took away. I believe I named it hair. So go down. No, not hair, not hair. Was it hair? Natalie 1. So this is here what I ended up using. You can also go onto my website and get my presets, so you can have a nice starting space to work with. Now, number one thing that I love about Lightroom, you can send stuff from Lightroom to Photoshop. And that's where we're going to go with this, just to clean it up a little. So I got rid of that red overcast, that magenta and red overcast for the most part. You can still see a little bit down here in this area, but that's not really a big deal. I didn't want as much on our model. And actually, I think I just want to darken up the blacks just slightly. There. Think I like it right there. But now, clean it up a little bit. So, send it to Photoshop. And I actually have a problem with Photoshop from time to time. I hope it happens on this picture, just so I can show you what I do to correct that. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out on another video. And you actually won't even see me saying this. So if it does, that's the only way you'll see me saying what I'm saying now. Now that we're in Photoshop, just going to make a copy. First thing I want to do is start making corrections. So I go over here to the spot healing brush tool, zoom in. Now, this young lady got her face beat to high heaven for this, so we don't actually really have too many blemishes. But one thing that I do like to make corrections on is I do not like super hot spots on the face. On the rest of the body, it really doesn't matter to me as much, but it doesn't really happen on the rest of the body much if you could look. So, going back up to the face, zoom in. Catch these really small blemishes. And more often than not, when you're dealing with somebody with long hair, you're going to spend quite a bit of time correcting just strands of hair. And you can make it look natural because no one's hair is perfect. So You can still have a few strands here or there. Just try to make sure that all the strands that you do leave are going in the same direction as what most of the hair is going, which I'm going to show you in a second. So yeah, just little things, but actually I could leave those. Pores in the face. So you check out those blemishes, and I would just name my layer Skin Repair. Now I'll make another copy of that, name it again Hair Repair. And really I'm not repairing the hair, I'm just going to be zooming in, getting a few like bothersome strands. Like these strands here are actually okay, they're going with the flow of the hair, that's fine. What you want to get rid of is these random thick strands that stick out from the rest of the hair. So I'll just come over like so. Remove that. Have the hair look more tight and together. Now there's also another technique that I like to use when it comes down to the hair. I'll show you that in just a second. Yeah, but just clean up a little bit. Don't have to get rid of all the strands, just any random strands that would be sticking super far out from the hair. But this right here, I don't really like. I'm actually going to use the clone stamp tool, and I'm going to thicken this part of the hair up. So make you another layer. Thick hair layer is what I'm going to name it. Come back over to the clone stamp tool. And now that I have my spot picked out that I want to sample from, I could just bring it down to thicken the hair. Now, I don't like to have the marquee that big. Smaller. Bring it in and just thicken that spot. And I'll show you another great thing about using another layer that is essentially an empty and blank layer. But try to follow the flow of the hair. Now, the last thing that I want to do with the hair, and as you can see, thickening out the hair, but the last thing that I want to do with the hair is that edge right there is a little blurry. What you can do is take the eraser tool, make whatever adjustments you want to make to how hard you want it to be, or how much it takes off at a time, 100%, or I keep it around the opacity around 30%, flow 17, smoothing about 29. And I'll just come in and clean up that soft edge and make it more hard. Not too hard, because when you back out, as you can see, boom, not noticeable. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't like to destroy my pictures, so I'm going to make a group out of those two pictures. Group from layers. Group 1, we could just leave it at group 1. All right. Make a copy of that group. Then merge the group. Now you have another picture to work with that has all of the properties from this group. So if I take away that layer and a group, you can see how the hair was the way it was before, and then how it looked once we thickened it out. Now, usually what I would do here is I would smooth out the skin. Now there's two ways. If you want to do it really quickly, I suggest using the mixer brush tool. Now with the mixer brush tool, you will be destroying the picture's pores. It smooths out the picture. It helps you get evenness in the layer and the tone of the skin. But you're essentially smoothing everything out. You're not keeping the texture. The other way would be to use frequency separation. And I'll show you that on another tutorial. But today, we're just going to make another layer. We're going to bring the mixer brush in. Then we're going to zoom in on these legs. All right. So come down here. And once again, there's a reason why I'm doing this on a separate layer. One, I don't want to destroy my picture, and two, putting it on a separate layer actually allows you to adjust the strength. So I usually come in, make changes, and let those changes be a little more strong. Now, if you're in an area with shadow, follow that shadow. You don't want to bring in light to a shadowed part of the body, because wherever you're going is essentially just smudging. Like you're using a paintbrush and you're just smudging the area to drag that color through that one location. So smoothed out the legs a little. Also, come over here, smooth out. And I don't go crazy with it, because honestly, you could get away without going crazy, and you get to keep some of that texture without destroying it completely. And then let me show you real time why I use a separate layer, because you can change the opacity of the layer and bring back in more of that texture, and you see less of what you actually made adjustments to. So opacity at 0, opacity at 50, opacity at 100. So I'll bring it down to about 78 or so. That looks good. And last but not least, I just want to do some contouring to the legs. Go to filters, liquify. Whoa, forgot something. Sorry. Make another group. Make a group. Group from layers, group number 2. Command J. Then what you want to do is merge that group. All right. Go back to filter, liquify. Now you're going to be here. Then make your adjustments. So I'm going to go in. Make some small incremental adjustments. You don't want to make them too abrupt, because then people would be able to tell you made adjustments, and these are just small adjustments. So bring that hip in a little bit. On this side, make it a little even. Mama got hips. Now there are other tools you can use in here, but for right now, that's all I want to show you guys. And you could take a look at how things look before I made adjustments with show backdrop. So there's before and after. So okay, that's the most that I'm gonna do. Then I actually have my logo saved. So I'm gonna go over here, grab my logo really quickly. And sometimes you just want to put watermarks on your stuff, guys, so nobody could take credit for your stuff. But I honestly don't do it as much anymore. When I first started photography, I put watermarks on everything, and everything was garbage at that. So I was just throwing watermarks on everything. Like, yeah, they ain't gonna use my stuff. So bring my black watermark over here. Throw that in the corner. And what I like to do is just put it in a random spot, just like off in a cut, or bring it over to one side. But for this one, I'm gonna bring it off into the cut over here, just tight into my model. Not really big and disturbing, but just because if you put it in the corner, somebody could really cut it out. So I just like to put it over there to the side. And the beautiful thing about using Lightroom with Photoshop is you could just go to save that, and then it is going to save the Lightroom. So then I come back to Lightroom. Once it's done saving, the picture that I just worked on will pop up. And what sometimes happens is the colors will be super saturated when it comes over from Photoshop, but that didn't happen this time. So I can show that to you guys later. But yeah, that's my workflow from going from Lightroom to Photoshop, bringing it back to Lightroom. And please, guys, check out my presets that I have that'll help you to get the colors that you want, because my colors are amazing. I know what you're saying. My colors are amazing. Yes, you could get those colors if you get my presets. It'll give you a great place to start off at. And remember, if you learned something today, like, subscribe, ring that bell notification. I'm Augustine Versace. This is Onell Media, and you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys on the next video. Check out my playlist. Peace. Love you guys.